If you ever get a strange link from a friend, don't click it. I'm not saying that as some generic internet PSA or as one of those tired warnings people slap onto creepypasta posts just to spook the easily scared. I mean it. I learned this the hard way. And now, my best friend is gone. I don't mean gone like he ghosted me or we drifted apart. I mean missing. Like his parents filed a report, his phone goes straight to voicemail, and his apartment looks like he walked out in the middle of something and never came back. And all of it, every last chilling detail, started with a single link. That's the part that keeps me awake. That stupid, harmless-looking blue hyperlink. Because if I just ignored it, if I'd laughed it off, deleted it, moved on, he'd still be here. But curiosity is a disease and we both caught it. You're probably wondering what was on it. Everyone does. That's the question that burns in people's minds when I try to tell this story. What was on the link? I'll get there. But before I tell you, you need to understand why it was the biggest mistake of my life. Because the truth isn't just scary website horror, it's something darker, something that wants you to look. And once you've seen it, you don't stop seeing it. Even now, as I'm recording this, I can feel the same gnawing presence I felt that night. Like someone's breathing just over my shoulder. Like if I turn too quickly, I'll catch a glimpse of what I'm not supposed to. That's what this link does. It follows. It infects. I'm telling you this because you need to hear it. Maybe if more people know, someone can figure out how to stop it. Or maybe I'm just dooming you the way my friend doomed me. I don't know anymore. What I do know is this. My friend sent me that link at 12:43 a.m. on a random Thursday night. Nothing about the day was unusual. No ominous foreshadowing, no cryptic messages before. Just him, me, and our usual late-night boredom. It started just like any other night. Before everything unraveled, life with Adam was normal, boring even. And that's probably what makes it so unbearable now, remembering how simple everything felt before the night he sent me that cursed message. We weren't thrill seekers or hackers or any of those edgy personas you see in movies. We were just two broke college kids trying to distract ourselves from homework, ramen dinners, and the crushing realization that adulthood wasn't half as glamorous as we'd imagined. Our friendship was built on routine. Every night, almost without fail, we'd hop into a Discord call. No grand plans, no schedules, just a ping, a yo, and suddenly hours would disappear into gaming, memes, and the kind of conversations that only made sense at 2 a.m. Adam was the kind of guy who could turn anything into a joke. Lag spike in a game. He'd narrate it like a sports commentator. Professor droning on in class. He'd send me a dramatic audio recording later, pretending to be in mortal agony. We laughed too hard at things that weren't funny, and maybe that's what bonded us. Two people trying to squeeze humor out of a world that felt increasingly hollow. But beneath the jokes, we shared something else. A fascination with the weird corners of the internet. We'd swap creepypasta links the way other friends traded playlists. If some Reddit thread claimed to have stumbled onto a lost episode of a childhood cartoon, Adam would be the first to dig through it. If a YouTube upload claimed to be cursed, he'd insist we watch it together. We thought we were just bored college kids, I realize now. But boredom is what got us in trouble. Back then, though, it felt harmless. Like kids daring each other to knock on the door of a haunted house they didn't believe in. There was an innocence to it. We didn't really believe in the things we read. Haunted cartridges, cursed emails, phone numbers that connected to something not human. They were stories, nothing more. Or at least, that's what I told myself whenever my skin prickled after reading one at 3 a.m. Adam leaned into it harder. He'd keep browser tabs open for hours, tracing dead links, jumping from obscure forums to half-broken archives. One day, he told me, we're gonna find something real, something no one else has seen. I laughed it off, because that's what you do when your best friend sounds a little obsessed. But some part of me wondered if he might be right. Maybe there was something hidden out there, something waiting for people reckless enough to stumble onto it. Still, most nights it wasn't that serious. We'd waste hours playing games, League, Valorant, whatever was free at the time, complaining about our laggy internet and trash teammates. Or we'd scroll through YouTube, sending each other increasingly cursed videos, old commercials with unsettling mascots, VHS rips uploaded with glitchy audio, creepy animations buried in forgotten channels. It was a rhythm, a safe, stupid rhythm, the kind you don't realize you rely on until it's shattered. Looking back, I can pinpoint the exact moment that rhythm broke. It wasn't fireworks or some dramatic buildup. It was just a message notification. 12:43 a.m. Adam, check this out. That was it. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. Just another late-night ping from a friend who was supposed to be invincible, untouchable by anything scarier than bad grades or an empty fridge. I didn't know it then, but that was the moment my world tilted. That was the beginning of the end. 12:43 a.m. Adam, check this out. At first glance, it looked like any of the thousands of links he'd spammed me with over the years. Memes, cursed videos, shady pirated downloads. I'd seen them all. But this one felt off the moment it appeared on my screen. The URL was long, nonsensical, like someone had mashed a keyboard while drunk. No recognizable domain. Not com, not net, not even the usual sketchy ru or cn. Just a string of letters and numbers ending in something I'd never seen before. I stared at it. What is that, some kind of joke? Adam replied almost instantly, just click it, trust me. That was the first red flag. Adam never typed like that. No sarcasm, no emojis, no over-the-top build-up, just blunt, robotic words. I thought maybe he was trolling, setting me up for some jump scare link. Yeah, nice try, I typed. Not falling for your meat spin too. There was a pause, longer than usual. Then, seriously, just do it. The weirdness sank in. Adam wasn't the type to double down. If I called him out, he'd usually cave, throw in a laughing emoji, admit he was baiting me. But now, nothing. Just this flat insistence that I had to click. I hovered over the link. My cursor shook slightly, not from fear, not yet, but from hesitation. Something in the pit of my stomach screamed at me to close the chat, to ignore it. But another voice whispered, what if it's something real? That was always the hook with us. The dream of finding something that wasn't just another recycled creepypasta. Maybe, just maybe, this was it. Fine, I typed back. But if this bricks my laptop, I'm sending you the repair bill. No reply. I frowned, you there? Still nothing. His Discord status showed online, but his typing bubble never appeared. For Adam, that silence was deafening. He was always filling the space with chatter, jokes, noise. Now nothing. I minimized the chat window, stared at the ugly blue hyperlink sitting there like bait on a hook. I should have deleted it, blocked it, gone back to gaming like nothing happened. But you know how curiosity works. It worms into your brain, convinces you you'll never sleep if you don't just look. And maybe you're wondering what I saw when I clicked it. I'll get to that. But first, you need to understand something important. There are rules to these things. Rules no one tells you until it's too late. I only learned them afterward, piecing together scraps from half-deleted forums and paranoid whispers in obscure chat rooms. Rules like, don't stay on the page longer than 3 minutes. Don't scroll past the first screen. And above all, don't click the second box. When Adam sent me that link, I didn't know any of that. I just thought I was about to see some edgy shock site, maybe a gore gallery or a jump scare. Something gross, but harmless in the long run. So, against my better judgment, I moved my cursor over the link and clicked. For a second, nothing happened, just a blank white tab. My fan whirred louder like my laptop was struggling. Then the screen flickered, just once, a tiny stutter like a skipped frame in a video. And suddenly, the page loaded. That was the first step down. The descent had begun. The page that opened looked wrong. Not wrong in the usual way, no jump scare, no flashing gore image meant to shock. Just a plain black background with faint gray text centered in the middle of the screen. It said, "Welcome." That was it. No images, no banners, no navigation. Just a single word like the start of a conversation I hadn't agreed to join. My first thought was that the site hadn't fully loaded. I refreshed the tab, waited, checked my Wi-Fi. Everything was fine, but the page didn't change. The words stayed there, sharp and oddly pixelated, like it wasn't text at all but an image made to look like text. Then came the sound. At first it was so faint I thought it was in my head, a low hum like static bleeding through old speakers. I turned my volume down, then all the way up. The noise didn't change. It wasn't tied to my settings. It was just there. I remember leaning closer, squinting at the screen as if looking harder would reveal the trick. That's when I noticed the faintest flicker, tiny shapes ghosting in the black background, appearing and vanishing before my eyes could focus. It looked like faces. Dozens of them. Blurry, stretched, blinking in and out like old film reel burns. A message box appeared at the bottom of the page. No fanfare, no pop-up sound, just a pale gray rectangle. Inside it. "You made it." I froze. For a heartbeat, I told myself it was a prank. Some ARG. Maybe Adam was behind it, laughing on his end. I typed back, "Nice one, did you make this?" The cursor blinked, no reply. Then another message appeared automatically, as if the page itself was typing. "We've been waiting." I swear my stomach dropped. Something about the phrasing felt directed personal, not a user, not random visitors, me. I flipped back to Discord. Adam was still online, green circle glowing beside his name, but he hadn't messaged since sending the link. "Dude," I typed. "What the hell is this site?" No response. I tried again. "Adam, seriously, you there?" Still nothing. The static hum grew louder. Not unbearably so, but enough to make me feel pressure behind my ears, like altitude sickness. Back on the site, the text box shifted upward. Another message appeared. "Look closer." Against my better judgment, I did. I leaned in until my nose was nearly touching the glass, scanning the dark background between the flickers. And then I saw it, a set of eyes. Human, perfectly clear for just a second, staring right back at me before dissolving into static. I jerked away so hard my chair rolled back and hit the wall. That's when I should have closed the tab, slammed the laptop shut, factory reset the whole thing. But instead, like an idiot, I stayed. My brain rationalized it, glitches, creepy design, ARG immersion, that's all. The chat box pinged again. "Don't stop now." I didn't type that. My hands were shaking in my lap, nowhere near the keys. I thought maybe someone else was on the site, some shared chat room like old Omegle Windows. "Who is this?" I typed. The reply was instant. "You know." I swear my heart stopped, because for a split second the text didn't read as black letters on a gray box. It looked like handwriting. Adam's handwriting. I blinked, and it was just text again. I stared at the screen, trying to breathe, trying to find logic in it. It had to be Adam screwing with me. It had to. Then another message appeared. "Click the box." And this time I noticed something new. A faint second rectangle had appeared just below the chat box, darker gray, barely visible. The second box. I didn't know the rules back then, but I swear something deep in me screamed not to touch it. Every instinct in my body told me it was bait. I hovered my cursor anyway. And here, where I'll say it, that was the one thing I shouldn't have clicked next. But before I could, my Discord window flashed with a new notification. It was Adam calling me. My screen lit up with the familiar Discord ringtone, sharp and sudden, snapping me out of my trance. Adam was calling. Relief hit me in a rush, finally, an explanation, some dumb laugh about how he'd scared me. I answered without hesitation. "Dude, what the hell is this?" But instead of Adam's easygoing voice, all I heard was chaos. The line crackled, heavy with distortion, like I'd picked up in the middle of a thunderstorm. Beneath the static, I caught fragments of his voice, strained, uneven, like he was gasping for air. "Don't click it. Adam, you're cutting out." His breathing grew louder, ragged. I pressed my headphones tighter, desperate to hear him. The static surged again, and through it I thought I heard something else. Faint whispers, layered voices speaking over each other in a language I didn't recognize. Then Adam's voice broke through, sharp and panicked. "Get off the page, now, you shouldn't be." His words dissolved into digital screeching, like the call itself was fighting against him. "Adam, slow down, what's happening?" There was a pause, heavy with interference, then his voice returned, trembling. "They're here. Don't let them find you." I froze, my skin went cold. "Who's here? What are you talking about?" "Close it," he hissed. "Close it now. Before they—" The rest drowned in a shriek of feedback so loud I tore off my headphones. Even without them, I could hear something leaking from the speakers. Low, guttural murmurs, almost in sync with each other, pressing against my ears like hands. I scrambled for the keyboard, but the site wouldn't close. The tab froze, cursor spinning uselessly. The word "welcome" still sat on the page, but now it pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. "Adam," I shouted into my mic, "what's happening?" For a split second, his voice came through clear, raw, and terrified. "It's too late for me." And then the call cut out. The silence that followed was worse than the static. My Discord window showed his status flip from green to gray. Offline. Gone. I tried calling back immediately, over and over. No answer. Each ring ended the same way, silence. On the site, the chat box blinked with a new message. "We see you." That was when I should have realized the truth. I wasn't just a spectator anymore. I was already marked. But I didn't understand that yet. I was too busy spamming messages to Adam, refreshing my friends' list, checking my phone for texts that never came. Each attempt ended in the same dead quiet, the same gray dot next to his name. One moment he'd been here, alive, panicked but reachable. And the next, it was as if the call had swallowed him whole. I didn't know it then, but that was the last time I would ever hear his voice. When Adam's voice cut out, when Discord showed that empty gray circle next to his name, my first instinct was denial. Maybe his Wi-Fi dropped. Maybe it was just a crash. Anything was better than admitting what I felt in my gut, that something had taken him the moment the call ended. I told myself I'd figure it out. I'd be logical, rational. If the site was just some twisted ARG or malicious prank, then the internet would know about it. The internet always knows. So I opened a new tab and copied the link from my history. The first thing I noticed was that it didn't look like a normal URL. The string was too long, cluttered with nonsensical characters that didn't resolve to anything familiar. No com or net. Just symbols, slashes, and a domain that seemed to glitch every time I tried to paste it. Sometimes it showed up with an extra number at the end, sometimes with a missing letter. Almost alive, like it was resisting being captured. Still, I pressed on. I dropped fragments of it into Google. At first, nothing, just blank results or broken sites. But after digging deeper, I stumbled into the corners of the web most people never bother with. Decade-old blogs with Comic Sans headers, abandoned forums where the last post was from 2014, Reddit threads buried under thousands of downvotes. And scattered across those dead places, I kept finding whispers about the link. No one ever called it by the same name. Some threads labeled it the Black Door, others Exit Code, and one particularly old conspiracy forum from 2009 referred to it as the Room Without Walls. Different names, different stories, but the pattern was the same. A link appears out of nowhere, always sent by someone you trust, always casual, always late at night. And then disappearance. Some posts claimed the link was a government experiment, a honeypot built to track and catalog curious minds. Don't click strange links, one anonymous user warned, because once you do, you're on a list that doesn't exist. Others leaned supernatural. The link isn't a website, another post read. It's a door, you don't load it, it loads you. I scrolled for hours, falling down rabbit holes. People described distorted images, strange whispers, glitches in their computers, missing friends. But every thread ended the same way, abruptly. Accounts deactivated, posts deleted mid-discussion, moderators claiming ignorance. One Reddit user had made a sprawling post about the link back in 2017. He included screenshots, chat logs, a whole breakdown of his friend's disappearance. But when I clicked through the thread, only the replies remained. His original post had been stripped away, leaving nothing but a sea of confused comments like, "Why did he delete everything? The op was onto something. Don't ask, just forget it." At first, I thought maybe it was the users themselves backing out, embarrassed at falling for an online myth. But then it happened while I was watching. I was deep on an old conspiracy board, reading a story eerily close to mine. Two friends. One vanished after a call, the other obsessively searching for answers. The writer was just about to explain what he'd found in the source code of the site when, right before my eyes, the text disappeared. Line by line, as if someone was backspacing it in real time. I refreshed. The entire account was gone. That was the moment I realized someone or something was actively scrubbing the evidence. It wasn't just urban legend. Someone was watching. I leaned back in my chair, heart racing, staring at my own reflection in the darkened monitor. How much of what I'd read was real? How much was planted to scare me off? And most important, was I already too far in? Every rational part of me screamed to stop, to shut it down, walk away, pretend Adam had just ditched me. But curiosity is a disease, and I was infected. I couldn't leave without knowing more. I went back to Discord, praying for a message from him. Nothing. My DMs to Adam sat unread, little gray checkmarks mocking me. And then, just as I was about to close my laptop for the first time in hours, a new notification popped up. Not from Adam. From someone I didn't know. No username, no avatar, just a blank profile. The message was short. "Stop searching, or you'll end up where he is." The message sat in my inbox like a venomous snake, coiled and waiting. "Stop searching, or you'll end up where he is." I didn't reply at first. My fingers hovered over the keys, my brain cycling through every possible scenario. Troll, hacker, Adam messing with me from a burner account. But the emptiness of the profile, no history, no server ties, no trace of activity, made it feel different, manufactured, disposable. And then, before I could decide whether to type back, another message appeared. "If you're still alive, it means you haven't been chosen yet. That's good, but you need to know the rules." Rules, the word hooked me instantly. What followed wasn't a neat paragraph or a simple list. It was fragments, broken sentences, more like half-censored notes copied from somewhere else. But the meaning cut through just fine. Rule 1, don't stay longer than 3 minutes. Rule 2, don't click the second box. Rule 3, never answer if they call your name. Rule 4, if you hear the static, it's already too late. I stared at them, my stomach tightening. 3 minutes. I'd been on that site for almost 15, and the second box, I remembered hovering over it, curious about the flickering square at the bottom of the screen. I hadn't clicked it, but I had noticed it and thought about it. And the static. Adam's voice had cracked with it before the call dropped. I typed quickly, hands shaking. "Who are you?" The reply was instant. Someone who broke the rules and survived, barely. My pulse quickened. I wanted to believe them, I needed to. But survival stories always sounded suspicious in horror tales. Why share it? Why me? Still I pressed. What is the site? What's on it? Silence. For nearly a minute I thought they were gone. Then the typing bubble appeared, slowly, deliberately. It isn't a site, it's a door, a filter. They push it through the network dressed up like a page, but once you open it, you've given them permission. You're in their system, you're visible. Visible, the word lodged in my mind like a splinter. I asked, who are they? But instead of an answer, I got something worse. Think of it like this: the internet isn't built on wires and servers. That's just what we tell ourselves. It's built on attention, on eyes, on watchers. Every click feeds them. Most sites are safe because they only take scraps. The link, it's designed to harvest. Harvest. The word felt wrong in my head. I thought of Adam's broken whispers. They're here. Don't let them find you. The next message came almost frantically. If you've already broken Rule 1, you're marked. That means you'll see things. Glitches, shadows, reflections that don't line up. Do not interact. Pretend you don't notice. If you draw attention, they'll know you're aware. My mouth went dry. The back of my neck prickled, as if unseen fingers hovered just above my skin. I typed, what happens if they know? The answer was slower this time. Then you'll end up like your friend. Gone, not dead exactly, just not here anymore. Not here anymore. I should have stopped reading, but I couldn't. The need to know, maybe to save Adam, maybe just to prove I wasn't insane, drove me. I typed, is there a way back? Can I undo it? No reply, just the blinking ellipsis. Then finally. There's one thing they didn't tell me, something I only learned too late, but I can't put it here, they'll see. Check your email in 10 minutes. And then, just like that, the account vanished. The chat thread still existed, but the profile had been deleted, leaving only the ghost of their words behind. I refreshed over and over, hoping it was a glitch. Nothing. That was when my laptop fan kicked into overdrive, roaring louder than I'd ever heard it. The screen flickered once, twice, before stabilizing. And then, without me touching a thing, the cursor began to move on its own. It clicked open a blank text document, and 3 words appeared, typed by invisible hands. We see you. 2 days after Adam's call dropped, his sister posted on Facebook, if anyone's seen my brother, please reach out. He didn't come home last night. By the end of the week, there were flyers stapled to telephone poles, his face smiling out from grainy photographs, missing person. The police came to campus. They asked me questions, all routine. When did I last see him? Did he seem upset? Did he mention leaving? They wrote everything down with bored professionalism, like Adam was just another college kid who'd run off for a few days. But I knew better. I told them about the link, about the call, about the static and the voices bleeding into the line. They exchanged a glance, the kind that says, crazy. Then they closed their notebooks and told me they'd look into it. But there's nothing to look into, not in their world. In their world, people don't vanish through websites. In their world, evidence can't just delete itself in real time. That's the difference between their reality and mine. Because while Adam's family begged for leads, while the police wasted time retracing his schedule, I was living with the consequences. It started small. My speakers would crackle when I wasn't playing anything, just faint whispers buried in static, too soft to make out. Sometimes it sounded like Adam's voice, other times like a chorus of strangers murmuring just beneath the surface of hearing. Then the reflections began. I'd catch my own face in the darkened screen of my laptop, but it wouldn't quite line up. My head would tilt a fraction of a second too late, my mouth lingering half open after I'd shut it. Once, I swear I saw it smile when I didn't. I stopped leaving my blinds open at night. Every time I looked into the glass, I was afraid I wouldn't see myself at all. But the worst were the notifications. At first, I thought they were glitches, Discord pings from Adam's account, even though it had been offline since the night he vanished. I told myself it was some bug, maybe his profile cached somewhere. But when I clicked the messages, they were blank. Just an empty chat with his name glowing green for a second before vanishing again. Once late at night, I saw him typing, 3 gray dots blinking in the chat window. I stared at them for nearly 5 minutes, frozen, waiting for a message that never came. Finally, they disappeared. And with them, whatever hope I still had that he was alive. I tried telling myself I wasn't responsible, but guilt is a parasite. I was the one who clicked. I was the one who lingered too long. If I just ignored that stupid message, maybe Adam would still be here. Maybe the police wouldn't be pinning flyers on every lamppost. Maybe his mother wouldn't be crying on the evening news. But deep down, I know the truth. Adam isn't missing. Not in the way they think. He didn't run away. He didn't get kidnapped. He didn't kill himself. I know what took him. And I know it's coming for me next. If you've stayed with me this long, I need you to understand something. You're already in danger. I don't say that for effect or to scare you into sticking around. I'm telling you because it's the truth. Just by listening, just by knowing the shape of this story, you've brushed against the edges of whatever they are. The same way I did when Adam first sent me that link. And if you're thinking it's just words on a screen, it can't hurt me. That's what I thought too. But attention is the doorway. That's what they feed on. Not the click itself, not the website, it's your focus. Your eyes, the fact that you're still here even as I'm saying this. That's why I almost didn't tell you. Every part of me wanted to shut my mouth and disappear, to hope maybe I'd slip under their radar. But silence hasn't saved anyone. Adam's silence didn't save him. So I'm telling you because maybe if enough people know, if enough people fight it, we'll have a chance to stop it. Or maybe I'm just dragging you down with me. I don't know anymore. Here's the only advice I can give, the only piece of truth I have left. Don't click strange links. Ever. Don't even open the message if it looks wrong, even if it comes from someone you trust, especially if it comes from someone you trust. And if you hear static on the line, if you see reflections that don't belong to you, if you notice your notifications flicker from someone who shouldn't be there, don't engage. Pretend you don't notice. Keep your head down and pray they pass you over. Because once they see you, there's no going back. I know how this sounds. I know some of you are rolling your eyes, typing out comments like creepypasta, good story, fake. Maybe that's for the best. Maybe the ones who laugh are safer than the ones who believe. But for the rest of you, the ones who feel that cold weight pressing down on your chest right now, you understand. You've felt it before. And maybe you've seen things too. If you have, leave it in the comments. Tell me what you know. Maybe together we can piece this thing into something we can fight. Because alone, none of us stand a chance. What? Hold on. I just heard something. A voice. It sounded like Adam. He's whispering my name. Beat. If you hear him too. Cut to black.